Hello, kindergarten. And for this week in writing, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So, we're going to be talking a lot about story elements. And we've been reading a lot about story elements in our read alouds, learning about the characters, the setting, the problem, the attempts to resolve, and the solution. But now we're going to take those same things that we learned and we're going to apply them to writing. And today and Wednesday, we're going to focus in on just thinking about characters and making up our own characters and making up our own stories, because that is what great authors do all the time. They make up great stories with great characters. So I want you to take some time to think about a character that you would love to either make up, or maybe it could even be you. You can be the character in your story, your family can be the character, or you could maybe have a talking bee or a talking flower, or you could have a talking toaster, or you could have talking animals as your characters in your story. Whatever you want to write about, this is your story. So I want you to think about a character you would love to write about. And for myself, I think I want to write about some characters that are magical creatures and they're trying to climb a mountain. So magical creatures that are trying to climb a mountain. So I'm going to take a moment to think about my story. And I'm thinking about these magical creatures and they're trying to climb a mountain. They're trying to climb a mountain. So I have to think about what I'm going to draw, but I don't want to forget all the things that I've been doing. I want to make sure that I make my picture very detailed, and I also want to make sure that I'm adding labels to my picture. So here I go. So I'm going to draw these magical creatures, and they are going to be walking along this path to get to a mountain. And I think I'm going to draw them, and they have a backpack on as well. So these magical creatures are walking on a road with their backpacks, and they are ready to climb this mountain. Make sure I include their hair. So again, you want to think about all those details. Who are your characters? Okay, so right now I'm drawing my characters. And now I want to try to draw my mountain. Okay, so it's going to be this huge, huge mountain in the distance. Maybe some smaller mountains are behind it. Just huge, huge mountain that they have to go and climb. And they're traveling along a road. So I want to make sure that I'm making the road they are traveling on to get to this mountain. So this mountain is still far away, and it's a long way before they can get to the mountain. We know that on the ground, there's usually some grass around the road. So again, you want to add as many details in your story as possible, making sure that you are including your characters, what they're doing, where they're going maybe, and you don't forget to put labels when you're done drawing. And I think I want to have the sun shining in the picture. So the sun is shining. It's a long road ahead to get to the mountain. Okay, so now I am done with my story. And now it's time for me to make sure that I include labels for my picture. Now, for your characters, maybe you thought of a name, maybe you haven't thought of a name. But if you are drawing or about yourself, you can write me. If you are drawing about your family, you can write your family's names. Or if you've made up names for your characters, you can go ahead and write their names or what they're doing. So I think the first label that I want to write is I want to make sure to write the sun. So this right over here is the sun. I know how to spell sun. Sun. So I know that's an S, I know that's a U. Sun. I know that's an N. So remember, you can use those strategies that we learned in reading, how to break apart words in order to figure out how they're spelled. And this is a mountain. So I'm going to try to stretch out the word. You stretch the snake. Mountain. 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 I know that has an M. I know that's an O. Mound. Here an N. Mount. N. T. Mountain. Here an E. Mountain. Okay. So sun, mountain, and these are my characters. Now my characters don't have a name. So if your characters don't have a name yet, you could just use this word at the top of your worksheet. You could just say characters. But if you do have a name for your characters, please write that name in your labels. So I'm gonna put the characters. So this is the sun, these are my characters, and this is the mountain. I guess I should say mountain since there's another one right behind mountains that they are going to. So try to write at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 labels in your picture. Okay, but remember what's most important is that we see your characters in that picture. All right, so now it's time for me to write. And I want to think about my sentence about 5 times. Really thinking, what am I writing? And I want to remember to write at least 1 sentence for my picture. But I want to challenge some of you because if you can write more than 1 sentence, please go ahead and do so. Write 2, write 3. That's how we get ready for first grade. So I'm going to think for a second. I have these characters and they're like magical characters and they're trying to climb this big, huge mountain. Okay? So I might say my characters will, because that's a sight word, climb a mountain. My characters will climb a mountain. So I thought about it 2 times. Let me keep thinking about it. My characters will climb a mountain. My characters will climb a mountain. My characters will climb a mountain. So now I've thought about my story 5 times. I've thought about my story, what I'm going to write 5 times. Now it's time for me to write. So here I go. I know how to spell my, and I always remember the first letter of my sentence is always capitalized. It's always uppercase. So my, and I'm still remembering to keep my letters in the word close together, but I want to make sure that I make space for my words. So my characters, and I know how to spell characters because it's in my worksheet. It's one of my labels. My characters, and then again, I want to make space. So I know my next word, my characters will, and that's a sight word, will, ill, and again, you can use Stretch the Snake to help you to spell those words. Will, my characters will climb. So again, I want to make space. Climb, climb, we'll hear that K, cool, I hear that L, I hear an I, climb, that's an M. So here I go, my characters will climb a mountain. And I've already have mountain up there, so I can just write that again. My characters will climb a mountain, and then I want to put a big period at the end of my sentence. But I don't want to forget what I have already learned. Not only do I need to make sure to have spaces between my words and that my letters in the word are close together, but I also want to remember that I'm making sure to double check my work. Did I write my words correctly? Did I make a mistake? what do I need to fix in my sentence? So here I go. My, I know I did this right because it's capitalized. I spelled it correctly. Characters, I know characters is spelled correctly because it's in my worksheet. Will, I know that sight word, so I know I spelled that correctly. Climb, it looks like I made a mistake. Now, I know the first letter in my sentence always has to be capitalized, but other letters are not supposed to be capitalized. So I'm just going to cross this out, and I'm going to just write a little k below it to make sure that I know it's supposed to be climb with a little k, not a big K. Okay, so my characters will climb a mountain. So don't forget, double check your work. Make sure you spell things correctly. Make sure you've made your capitalizations. Remember your periods at the end of your sentence. Don't forget, you are writing and drawing about characters. Make up your own character. In your story, what are they doing? And don't forget to write labels. If you can, please write another sentence. Don't just write one, write two if you can, or even so, write 3. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoy writing. I cannot wait to see all of your wonderful work. Have a great day.